hottest guy on American Adversary. Love ya.
Hi, welcome back to the show. You got us here until 8 o'clock. Don't forget at 8 o'clock till 11 o'clock, you got On American Radio with Mark Walters. In the meantime, we've been talking about the poll numbers in the political race, and in particular, I've brought up sort of history being on Trump's side in this sort of thing. And certainly I think that can be said also of Ted Cruz, and in general, the Republicans, if they play their cards right. Because this administration is being seen more and more for what it is, either weak and incapable of handling the problem, or being an active and willing participant in the problem. And that, I don't think, is going to change, and that's going to make it more and more bad news for Democrats. And by the way, I wanted to talk about this last week, but we didn't get into it because of other things, but the New York Times did an article on how Democrats, since Obama's been president, have been losing elections left and right. I mean, he's won election, re-election, but Democrats around the country have been losing handily. However, that did change a little bit yesterday when John Bell Edwards, not that John Edwards, another John Bell, this is John Bell, spelled B-E-L, John Bell Edwards, the Democrat, was elected to be the new governor of Louisiana, as Bobby Jindal has been term limited out. David Vitter, former senator, was running against Bell Edwards. And if you remember David Vitter, his claim to fame was getting caught up in a prostitution scandal. And I don't know if that cost him the election. This was a runoff election. But evidently John Bell is both pro-gun and pro-life as a Democrat. So perhaps that had some bearing on the thing.
Did you say David Vitter was caught up in a prostitution?
Yeah, he was.
And the Republican Party supported him as their candidate?
Yeah, they did. So maybe that's why, we're losing elections, right? We want principled candidates, and we get this nonsense.
Exactly. This is the idiocy. I say on my show now, I'm telling you, I have gone from, I vote Republican because more of my values lie there. I am full-blooded conservative. This whole I can't even buy into this crap. This is absolute nonsense. In a time when you don't read the landscape that's right in front of your freaking eyes. When you see that the people are tired of the same old, they're tired of nonsense, you're going to put up a candidate for a governorship that has scandal and is blood idiots.
By the way, you can find out all about Carl, what he's doing at carljacksonshow.com. And of course, you can find him and like him at Carl Jackson Radio on Facebook, right?
That's right. Thank you.
All right. The polls, as I said, show the public in a very sour mood. They do believe that we are at war with radical Islam. So when Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton can't even bring themselves to say that, it's hard for me to believe that the American public is going to think, at least in the majority sense, that they can actually do anything about the problem. And the sour mood is going to even get more sour. And especially when things like this come to light. There is a town in Michigan. Aubrey, you got that stuff on that town in Michigan there? What's it called again? Hamtramck? Hamtramck, Michigan.
Yep.
Remember that name, because I got a feeling you're going to start to hear a lot more about it over the next, I don't know, months or year or so. Hamtramck happens to be a place where a lot of Muslims live.
It's near Detroit.
Near Detroit. Now, of course, Michigan has been the beneficiary, if you will, of a lot of the relocation of refugees from the Middle East prior to Syria. These refugees are coming from Somalia, some of them from Iraq, some of them from Afghanistan, some of them from Pakistan, other countries like that.
But Michigan invites them.
Michigan invites them.
Right? Because Michigan is
big hard country, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
Well, Hamtramck, Michigan, which is near Detroit, now has, by the way, it was started by Polish refugees and was predominantly Polish. It now has a majority Muslim city council. And of course, Polish celebrations involve
Drinking,
alcohol,
dancing,
and fun. And because the majority Muslim council has now permitted the purchasing of a 22,000 square foot furniture store that is empty to replace the existing one. They're going to put a minaret on there, have full square, blasting out through speakers 5 times a day
throughout the city. And have they already declared that they're going to, if you will, impose Sharia law without saying Sharia law?
Well, they're not saying Sharia law, but they are claiming that we are a big threat to their religion and culture. They're saying this about the Polish, that the Muslims say we are a big threat to their religion and culture. Now their days are gone.
Yeah. This is something that I was talking about during the shows this past week. You know, this whole refugee crisis came up and everything. And by the way, once again, ABC News national poll, by 2/3 to 1/3 margin, excuse me, that's a Fox national poll, 2/3 to 1/3 margin, no Syrian refugees should be allowed in this country. And by the way, there are a number of other polling agencies that show similar results. Some of them a simple majority, others big majorities like this, super majorities. But there are no polls that say we should be taking all of these Syrian refugees in the way the president is recommending. As I said, Islam is not all about assimilating into a culture. Islam is all about assimilating that culture into it. And this is how they do it in a Western culture like this. You know, they're willing to go about it anyway. If we want to become Muslims peacefully, they're fine with that. If we want to allow them to take over our country democratically over a period of time, they're fine with that too. If it comes down to having to cut our heads off, guess what? They're fine with that too. You know, it doesn't matter to them how they go about it, how it has to be done. It can be either peacefully or not. The end goal is the same. And it will be their goal always. And Muslims who are, let's just say, westernized, they just don't really understand their own religion. They're Muslims in name only, basically. But the people who understand Islam for really what it is, understand that the end goal is a worldwide caliphate. To them, that is the holy mission. There's nothing, you know, to them intrinsically evil about that. To them, it would be a great deed if the whole world were Islam. Now, you got to think about it. All religions kind of view it the same way. I mean, we think the world would be a whole lot better off if we were all Christians, don't we? Right? The only difference is we're not willing to cut people's heads off to accomplish the goal. Never have been. So that's the difference here. And what they will do is they will use our constitutional rights and our constitutional protections against us, which is what they're doing in what was called again? Hamtramck, Michigan.
Yeah, but then you cannot just do away with the First Amendment.
Oh, they're not doing away with it.
No, but I'm saying we cannot.
They're using it against us.
Well, yes, but then at the same time we can use it against them. The question is, are we prepared to do that?
That was where I was going. That is, if we live in a world where the political leaders and the judicial leaders are willing to do that. We now see that they are not. We are seeing that, for instance, the cake bakers who won't bake for gays because of religious reasons, they get fined and perhaps sent to jail. But the people who won't deliver the beer because
they get $250,000. Right.
So,
but then again, that's not the fault of the First Amendment.
No, it's not.
That's the fault of liberals who are in positions of power.
No. Well, yes and no.
All right. Now, if we had churches ringing out church bells or playing gospel music over loudspeakers 5 times a day at the same time as the Muslim prayer call was going out, would there be an outcry? Well, you can't play that loud music. Okay, you've got to do it for one, you do it for all. Otherwise, shut up.
Well, I think that their response would be, they've been playing church bells for centuries. They've been playing church bells for centuries. You hear the church bells. In Orlando, you hardly ever hear them anymore. But when I was growing up, you hear the church bells ringing all the time. The point I'm trying to make here is that if we simply recognize Islam as a religion, we may as well give them the keys to the country right now. Okay? Because they will use the First Amendment to force their way upon us. We have to recognize that Islam is not a religion. Islam is an ideology that incorporates religion into the ideology in order to subjugate the people. And if it is seen as such, it can be dealt with differently. If we're going to give them religious protections, then we may as well throw in the towel right now. Okay? They cannot be given the same First Amendment protections because it is not a qualified religion in the sense that we understand them.
Chris, you cannot do away with the First Amendment for some and not for others.
I'm not talking about doing away with the First Amendment. I'm talking about recognizing Islam for what it is. Well, Islam is not a religion. Islam is a political movement that uses religion to incorporate its laws and ways
but
on
they
people.
Still have the same rights as we do, the right of free speech.
Free speech, yes. Free practice of that thing that they call Islam, no.
Yeah, well, now you're on a slippery slope.
How so?
Because you then could turn around and say atheism is, which is a religion, is also a way, a movement.
No, because atheism doesn't have a whole set of laws and things that govern people's every movement of their life, like Sharia law. Sharia law governs every aspect of your life, right down to your behavior in your bedroom. Every aspect of your life is covered by Sharia law. This does not happen in any other religion, in any other ideology. This only comes from the likes of communism, fascism, imperialism, and in this case, Islam. It is not a religion in the sense that should be covered by the First Amendment.
But the First Amendment also has the right to free speech.
Free speech, yes, but that is different than giving religious protections to people who use them to plot our destruction. We got to take a break. Pick this up on the other side. Please don't go away.